The alarm clock blares, another day begins. You navigate the familiar routines, the endless expectations, the digital noise that screams for your attention. In this relentless current of modern life, do you ever pause and ask, am I truly living my life? Or am I merely a reflection of what others expect me to be? For centuries, philosophy has grappled with the question of meaning. But few dared to challenge the very foundations of meaning-making itself, to demand of us a radical, almost terrifying freedom. Friedrich Nietzsche was one such philosopher. He didn't offer comfort. He offered a hammer to shatter old idols, to forge new values, and to inspire us to become something more than we are. This isn't a guide to dominance over others. It's a call to mastery over oneself. It's about confronting the deepest challenges of existence, not by escaping them, but by transforming them into opportunities for growth. It's Nietzsche's guide to self-overcoming. Nietzsche looked at his contemporary society, and indeed at much of human history, and saw a pervasive illness, the herd mentality. He believed that most people, out of fear, comfort, or a lack of individual will, willingly surrendered their autonomy to the collective. They adopted prevailing moral codes, popular opinions, and societal expectations without truly questioning them. In Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Nietzsche introduced the concept of the last man, a disheartening vision of humanity that has achieved peace and material comfort, but at the cost of all aspiration, risk, and meaning. The last man is content, mediocre, and lacks any grand passion or individual struggle. Erjubling external pleasures. This resonated with Nietzsche's fear that humanity was becoming too comfortable, too safe, too unwilling to strive for greatness. This isn't just an ancient critique. Look around today. The relentless pursuit of external validation, the fear of missing out, the pressure to conform to online personas, these are modern manifestations of the herd instinct. We outsource our thinking, our happiness, and even our identity to algorithms and popular opinion. Nietzsche would argue that we are living a life of resentment, a bitter resentment born from the inability to express genuine power or creativity, leading us to devalue what we lack and elevate what makes us feel safe and equal. This leads to a profound crisis of meaning. If we derive our values from the crowd, our purpose from what is easily attainable, or our identity from external approval, then our inner world remains weak, anxious, and ultimately unfulfilled. Nietzsche urged us to break free from this inherited prison and embark on a solitary, yet incredibly rewarding, journey, the journey of self-overcoming. At the heart of Nietzsche's philosophy is the concept of the will to power. This is often misunderstood as a simple desire for domination over others. For Nietzsche, it's something far more profound, an inherent, internal drive in all living things to grow, to expand, to overcome resistance, and to actualize their full potential. It is the fundamental impulse of life itself. For humans, the will to power is expressed as the drive to create, to excel, to build character, and to impose our own meaning upon the chaotic universe. It's a relentless striving for self-mastery and self-perfection, not an external conquest. As Nietzsche wrote, the will to overcome an emotion is ultimately only the will of another emotion or of several other emotions. This suggests an internal battlefield where our inner powers contend and develop. This means embracing hardship and challenging ourselves. The path of self-overcoming is not one of ease or comfort. It is through struggle that we grow. Just as a muscle grows stronger when challenged, our spirit and intellect are forged in the fires of adversity. Nietzsche famously declared, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger." He saw suffering not as something to be avoided at all costs, but as a potential catalyst for profound self-transformation, a necessary friction against which our will to power asserts itself. This also implies a constant process of re-evaluation. We must continually examine our inherited beliefs, our ingrained habits, and our default reactions. The will to power demands that we question everything, especially those truths that feel most comfortable or universally accepted. Is this truly my value, or a value imposed upon me? Am I striving for my greatness, or merely for external rewards? This radical self-honesty is the first step toward true inner power. If we are to break free from the herd, we must then undertake the arduous task of creating our own values. Nietzsche critiqued traditional morality. We shake slave morality for being born out of resentment against the strong and the desire to make everyone equal. He believed this kind of morality stifled individual excellence and promoted mediocrity. Instead, he proposed a master morality not as a system for societal rule, but as an internal attitude. This morality is characterized by self-affirmation, nobility, and the courage to define good and bad based on one's own strength and creative will, rather than external approval or weakness. The core idea is to become who you are. This is Nassif pra-self-discovery, butin active, créateur-sif. It means looking within, identifying your unique drives and talents, and then cultivating them to their highest possible degree, regardless of what society dictates. It requires courage, isolation, and a willingness to be misunderstood. This process is deeply tied to authenticity. Living authentically, for Nietzsche, means aligning your actions and beliefs with your deepest, most individual will. It means standing apart, if necessary, from the crowd and embracing the loneliness of the peak. It means recognizing that you are responsible for the meaning in your own life and not waiting for it to be given to you by external forces or deities. This doesn't imply moral relativism or outright nihilism. Rather, it challenges us to create values that affirm life, that inspire growth, and that demand the best of ourselves. It's an active engagement with the world, seeking to imbue it with our meaning. The path of self-overcoming is not without its trials. In fact, it often demands that we embrace what is most difficult. Nietzsche didn't believe in easy happiness. He saw profound meaning in confronting and overcoming suffering. As he famously stated, to live is to suffer. To survive is to find some meaning in the suffering. This brings us to the concept of Amor Fati, love of fate. This, pass resignation, butin active, joyful ecstasy of everything that happens in your life, both good and bad. It's the willingness to embrace every challenge, every setback, every pain, and to see it as an indispensable part of your journey, a necessary ingredient for your growth. If you could live your life over and over again, would you wish for it to be exactly as it was? Amor Fati is saying yes to life in its entirety. Related to this is the thought experiment of eternal recurrence. Imagine that every moment of your life, every joy, every pain, every triumph, Every failure would recur infinitely, exactly as it happened. Would this thought crush you or empower you? Nietzsche proposed this idea as a test of one's life affirmation. If you can embrace the eternal recurrence of your life, it means you've lived it authentically, without regret, and with a profound love for existence itself. The anxious mind, which we explored previously, often seeks comfort and avoids pain. But Nietzsche would argue that by confronting discomfort, by taking on challenges that stretch us, we forge resilience and discover hidden strengths. This doesn't mean seeking out unnecessary suffering, but rather approaching the inevitable challenges of life with a courageous, affirmative spirit. To transcend, one must first confront. The journey of self-overcoming is a lifelong endeavor, a continuous process of becoming. It requires immense self-awareness, unwavering courage, and a relentless will to challenge the status quo, both in the world and within oneself. The epochal mind, guided by Nietzsche's profound insights, understands that true power is not found in external accolades or superficial comfort, but in the strength of one's character, the authenticity of one's values, and the unwavering affirmation of one's own unique life. So, as you step forward into this complex and challenging world, what inherited beliefs are you ready to question and reevaluate? What struggles in your life can you embrace as opportunities for growth and self-mastery? How can you actively create and live by your own values, rather than conforming to the crowd? Are you ready to say yes to your fate, with all its joys and sorrows? Unleashing your inner power means daring to be different, daring to be uncomfortable, and daring to be truly, unapologetically, you. It's a call to write your own legend, not just for others to read, but for yourself to live, over and over again.